Geek Out! Welcome to another episode of LaserDicks. I'm Chris.
And I'm Ken.
And today is a special day? Is that
It's
what you
a
would call it?
sad day.
A sad day. Ken and I have decided, we've talked amongst ourselves, and we've decided that we are going to put to rest, at least for now.
I mean, we could do something in the future, like a Christmas special. Yeah,
something like that. But for now, we've decided to hang up our coats and not. This is going to be our last episode of LaserDicks for now. I think we had a good run. You know,
about 2 years,
around 2 years for a dead medium.
Yeah, no, that's the thing that I was comparing it to was like with Sam and Jake, they do their podcast, and it's usually like with the Beatles. It was there was only going to be so many Beatles albums.
They only have X number of albums to talk about.
Exactly.
Or Kiss, which just wrapped up as well. Which Jake got a lot of mileage out of that one too.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, for this, we're not getting any more new releases.
Yeah.
Our budget, our wallets are only so big.
Yeah. And especially last month, I started to feel like I was buying things just so I had something to talk about on LaserDicks.
Exactly. We've kind of gotten our collection.
The ones that I picked up, they were all right, but I was watching The Last Boy Scout, which is one of the ones that I picked up, and I was like, this is not that great of a movie. I'm kind of sad that I spent, the $2 or whatever it was on it, because just so I could say that I had it, just so I could talk about it on the show. I was like, this was not a good purchase.
Yeah, exactly. We were buying things for the sake of talking about them rather than let's say, oh, I really wanted to get the Spider-Man one, and
Yeah.
So it is what it is, but I figure we should do in the style of any 90s sitcom and have a clip show. So any fond memories that you have?
I'm gonna first the first one that comes to mind is the one that I'm actually looking at right there, framed up on the wall. I'm sure I talked about it when it happened a little bit over a year ago, but let's rehash it a little bit. This is when I met Ray Park at AwesomeCon 2016. And I got him to sign my copy of Sleepy Hollow, Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow. It's the last movie made for American Laserdisc.
Was that still debatable, or
it is? There are two movies that came out in October of 2000 or 99, whatever year it was. It was that, and then Bringing Out the Dead. I think it's
not Twister.
No, it's not Twister.
Okay.
Twister's the first DVD.
That's right.
Yeah. Or at least first Hollywood movie on DVD. I can't say that it was the first movie on DVD or anything.
I knew it was important.
Yeah. But so Sleepy Hollow is one of the two final American Laserdisc movies made. And so I got a copy of it. It's a good movie. And I had the chance to meet Ray Park, who plays the stunt double for Christopher Walken, who is the Headless Horseman. So basically, anytime you see the Headless Horseman headless, it's 90% chance that it's Ray Park playing the role. And then Christopher Walken, of course, is Christopher Walken.
You mean we got gypped of Christopher Walken doing this amazing performance when we can't actually see his head at all?
Yeah, pretty much. That's how stunt work goes a lot of the time. But yeah, so Ray Park and I had a cool conversation because he actually was kind of psyched about it. He was like, "Oh, I've never signed a Laserdisc before," and I was like, "Well, you only have 2 movies that were ever made on Laserdisc. You have that, and you have Episode 1." To my knowledge, he could have been a stunt person in a handful of other movies that were put on Laserdisc, but the big 2 for me are Sleepy Hollow and Episode 1, and I don't have a copy of Episode 1.
I should find him.
Yeah,
I have a copy.
There you go. It's been scratched to hell because of our own stupidity.
Nobody was supposed to know.
I mean, it's fine. It's fine. We improved the movie.
We got rid of the Jar Jar bits. Just painfully, just got a nickel and was like, yep.
But yeah, so he was really cool about it, and he and I kind of geeked out about the technology, and he was like, "Oh man, I wish I had." One of the big purchases that he wanted to make around the time that he did Sleepy Hollow in Episode 1 was because he was starting to be in bigger movies and have bigger roles in them. he was like, I wanted to get a Laserdisc player, and I was like, that was probably the worst time to want to make that purchase because it was literally as the technology was dying.
Oh my
but and then I had because I wanted to do something nerdy at the con because I don't really cosplay too much. But like I had my Nintendo Power Glove on, and he went out to shake my hand, and like it's so dumb, but like I geek out about it because when he shook my hand, he pretended to that I was like crushing his hand just because I was wearing the Power Glove, and I was like, yeah, I'm a child again. And then at the same convention, there was also Phil Lamar, famous for all of his voice work in like Samurai Jack and a handful, dozens of other things that are big Cartoon Network mainstays.
Futurama.
Yeah. But he was in this little movie back in the 90s called Pulp Fiction.
Oh, never heard of it. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Not a lot of people saw it. But so I have a copy of the Japanese Laserdisc, and I took that up to Phil Lamar to get signed, and he geeked out over it too because Quentin Tarantino, kind of a Laserdisc fan, not nearly as big as like Kevin Smith or someone else that.
Oh, yeah.
But like Tarantino still has love for the technology.
Mm-hmm.
And I joked around with Phil Lamar about how like if there's anyone that I thought could bring, quote unquote, bring back Laserdiscs. Because he had posed the question. He was like, do you think this is going to come back like vinyl is? And I was like, no,
no,
I don't think so. But because it just can't compete with like Blu-rays and stuff like that. Like vinyl can because it has that quote unquote warmer feel to it. But like Laserdiscs it's literally just nostalgia that keeps it alive.
Exactly.
But I was like, if there was one guy that I thought could do it, it was Quentin Tarantino, and by saying the only way you can get the Roadshow version of The Hateful Eight is by buying this like 6-disc long Laserdisc of it.
Oh my God.
And he had a good chuckle with that. He agreed. He was like, it would have worked.
Yeah.
And I was like, I probably would have bought it. probably be like $1,000 TV.
It's gold plated.
Yeah, I have a gold plated Laserdisc. Evil Dead. The first Evil Dead is gold plated.
That's right.
Yeah, and Evil Dead 2 red plated. Doesn't play in all players. Plays in mine though.
Oh, I know. I was there.
You're the one that bought it for me.
Exactly.
So what's one of your favorite fond memories, or one of your favorite movies that you have in your collection?
Well, let me think here. I'd say I really enjoyed bringing like 3 frickin' movies for Jason David Frank to sign. Just like everyone's like, okay, so you get the your ticket in gets you one signature thing, and I'm like, well, how many can we do? You got to pay $40 each. Here's $80. I wish to have him sign 3 things, but he took one, took it. And it was pretty great. No, that was really awesome. And I think he was answering questions then, so he didn't really get to comment.
What's his name? The
jerk,
the self-appointed ringleader of the show, who was just a douchebag fan. Kept trying to talk to him and be his best friend.
Hey, I had an interesting question. He thanked me for my question. You remember what my question was?
I do not. What was your question?
I asked him, what was it hard to act off of stand-ins when the 3 Rangers left midway through?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
because you're like the only person that knows that the three Rangers left.
I'm probably one of the only people. Yeah, I was probably one of the only people that went back and watched Power Rangers. Like, actually sat down just to watch when it came back on Netflix. Everyone else is like, oh, that's nostalgia. I'm like, no, yo, can you check this out? Like, they're not here. They're not here, and that's a dub. What's going on, guys? But he thanked me for that, and he's like, I thought, hey, the kids are gonna notice Jason David Frank was like, oh, the kids are gonna notice this, and the director's like, nah, just keep going. And to his credit,
we didn't notice.
I didn't notice.
I didn't notice.
But it's a good 8-episode chunk.
Yeah.
So, but that was pretty rad. You know, being able to get all 3 of them signed, and I've got 2 of them framed right now, and I actually took. I took David Yost. I did meet David Yost, and I got him to sign the two more. I had one signed, and I wasn't there.
Yeah.
The movie, and then I have the a couple of episodes from this TV show.
He was at the New York Comic-Con last year or the year before.
No, last year. That's
when I kept trying to rush you out because I was like, oh, our bus is leaving right now. And then we got to the bus and I was like, oh, I bought tickets for the wrong day. Dicks. But yeah.
Yeah, so pretty fond memories of that. And fun little behind-the-scenes bit. It happened more recently. So we've had, when we did the Rocky Horror episode, we had my girlfriend Maddie on at the time. But before... like right when we started dating, she was bored one day. I was like, I do this podcast. You should check out this podcast. And so she listened to the Geek Out episode where she listened to a couple of the LaserDiscs, but then listened to the Geek Out episode where we're talking about our favorite Valentine's Day like movies. And I started humming a few bars from Pop Goes My Heart, and she's like, "Oh no. I've met the perfect man."
Because she loves that song too, or she loves
the movie because she loves Hugh Grant. Hugh Grant. So to kind of tie it back into LaserDisc, the other day when we were getting stuff, I got her a Hugh Grant movie.
Nice.
3 Funerals and a Wedding, I think it's called.
3 Weddings and a Funeral.
Oh, I made it more morbid. Morbid.
Yeah. Everyone's dying, but only one person's getting married.
That's nice.
What's funny is that a couple weeks ago that song was stuck in my head.
Oh, geez.
So I actually listened to it on. It's on Amazon Music, the Amazon Music's
the store
app.
Yeah.
And I pay for Amazon Music, so I was able to listen to it for free or for no extra charge, more specifically. And I was just it's still stuck in my head. Play it again. I listened to it 3 times in a row, and I started doing the,
Pop
when they
goes my heart.
Yeah.
Pop goes my...
Yeah. So thanks, Maddie.
Well, thanks to me.
Yeah, thanks to you too.
Yeah.
So do you remember what it was that started your collection?
Ooh, that's a fun one. I definitely have to say, way back when I worked at H.H. Gregg, my coworker Randy, he actually he used to own a LaserDisc store, and when it went belly up, he had to take on a lot of the he just I don't know if he had to or he just wanted to, but he took a lot of the stands and all the leftover discs that he had. So one day, I came over, he wanted me to watch his pets for a week, and so I came over. He's like, "Hey, check these things out," and I'm like, "Whoa. You have a lot of them. Let me check this out." And
for payment, you can take a handful.
Exactly. Well, no, he's got I've flat out told him yo, if you if you want to write it in the will, I will gladly take these things off your hands. But because he's got a lot of cool stuff, man. This guy's got a lot of all versions of Aliens that came out back in the day. He's got I literally I spent a couple of hours at his place just going through picking up movies. I watched all Feifel movies, just loving. He's got a lot of classics. I think he's got all Back to the Future. He's got the Flash, the Captain America movie.
Ooh, I've got that on Blu-ray.
Oh, so he's got a lot of cool stuff, and I think he didn't give me any at the beginning. He just was like, "Hey, you should check these out." Oh, but he did give me a broken player, and I think that's what keyed it off. Was like, "Hey, I should get this fixed. I can't get it fixed. I should get my own."
Yeah.
So that kind of started the whole ball rolling there. That whole and playing the disc there and just saying this is a pretty cool medium here. So.
Yeah, and for me, it's the classic story of I'm a Star Wars nerd who doesn't accept the special editions.
I'll refuse.
And one day I just really wanted to be able to watch the original movies in widescreen, and my options were to watch the option to watch the VHSs was not there because the VHSs I have are the 4x3.
Yeah.
So I could either buy a DVD of the theatrical versions, because months after it got put out on DVD, they re-released it on DVD as the non-theatrical versions,
right,
which I found out were just digitizations of the LaserDiscs.
I remember that.
And I was like, I have a LaserDisc player. Let me see if I can find someone that's selling the Star Wars movies on LaserDisc. And I found a dude selling the definitive collection, the big black leather-bound box that we both have.
The big black box?
Yeah. And so I bought that, and I was like, all right, in a month, when it gets to me, I will be able to watch the theatrical version of it, and it was glorious.
Well, you already had, you had a player, and you had like the original set that you had.
Yeah, I grew up with a Laserdisc player. I grew up with like maybe a dozen Laserdisc movies, including the first Ghostbusters, the first Tim Burton Batman, Yellow Submarine by the Beatles, a handful of the Connery and Roger Moore James Bond movies, and then like a couple others. And yeah, like it was a thing that I was like, I'm gonna get this, and then like because of that, I was like, let me check eBay for some other movies that were put on Laserdisc, and then I found out that they still made Laserdiscs through the 90s, and I was like, I love these movies, so I just kept buying and buying and buying, and now I have like over 200 some odd movies.
We really should go through and like make a. Well, you have your.
I have my Letterboxd.
I'm gonna have to work on mine because like now that I'm not actively buying a lot, I could go through and actually sit down and put everything in there. I only did like a few. Yeah. Because like right now, like they're either in my room, in my like shelving unit that fits them perfectly, or they're downstairs next to the TV, next to the running player, or they're framed on the wall. Because I have, I got like a pack of 6 individual frames, and I've started putting those on the wall. And like I think I've got like a Goofy movie, Spider-Man cartoon from the 80s, and gosh, I should actually look at what's actually, because it's been sitting, because I haven't like gotten anything to put them on the wall yet. I have like maybe safety pins, not safety pins, but like the tags.
The tags.
And I'm a little worried about like crushing my computer if they fall.
All right, well. That's it, folks. For now. If I get Bringing Out the Dead, maybe we'll have another episode.
I think we should plan on having the cartoon Christmas special. Yeah. Christmas comes around, we all get our gifts.
There you go.
We come in,
and then we could do like birthday specials too, because I still enjoy getting Laserdiscs for my birthdays.
Hint, hint, wink, wink, wink.
Thank you, Sam, and thank you, Jake, and especially thank you, Ken.
I'll think.
All right, so
I guess until then.
Yeah, until then, this has been the final official episode of LaserDicks. Yeah, Ken, take us out.
LaserDicks.
This has been another Geek Out production. If you enjoyed what you heard, hey, we've got a special episode every Friday. Of course, there's the usual catching up show every Wednesday, and you get book club episodes just about every Tuesday these days. Thanks for listening.